Hi everyone, my name is Joyce. I am currently working as a transition specialist at several adult schools, and what I do is I provide student support services to students who are in our ESL programs, our high school diploma or high school equivalency programs. Some of our students are there for career training classes, and others are there in preparing to transition to college. And so what I've learned about our students is that they run a full spectrum of highly marginalized populations. Many have been impacted by trauma, either on an individual or community level. And so that's what attracts me to this class and this program, is that I am interested in learning about the impacts of trauma, and specifically learning about tools to aid in the healing process. In terms of my culture sketch, age and generational influences, I am 41, which puts me in Generation X. There's a book called X Saves the World by Jeff Gordonier, and he defines some of the characteristics of that generation as sort of the MTV kids, which is true for me. First of the latchkey kids generation, which is also true for me. And he states that divorce rates were starting to double at that time, and a lot of families relied on dual incomes. The dual income part definitely is a characteristic of my family. So because of me falling into that middle age range, that puts me in the dominant group for this influence. Developmental or other disability, I am not a person with a disability. I do, however, professionally work with several students who have diagnosed disabilities and have met several students who probably have undiagnosed disabilities. So professionally, I definitely work with a student population with disabilities. But because I am not a person with a disability, I fall within that dominant group influence. Religion and spirituality, I associate myself with Buddhism. However, I grew up in a very Christian-based community, and so there was this constant conflict of my religious beliefs versus what I was seeing in the community and at the schools that I went to and amongst my friends. And so that sometimes imposed a conflict. But because my religion is Buddhism, I fall in the minority. And the next influence is ethnic and racial identity. I am a first generation Asian American, Chinese Burmese, and so that puts me in the minority. Socioeconomic status. As a child, we were definitely low socioeconomic, and then through the hard work of my parents, we were able to move into more middle class socioeconomic status. And so because of that middle class status, I am part of the dominant influence group. Sexual orientation, I'm heterosexual, so that is a dominant grouping. Indigenous heritage, I am not part of a native tribe or nation, so again, that puts me in the dominant grouping. National origin, I am a naturalized U.S. citizen. We immigrated here from Burma. English is not my primary language, it's my secondary language. And so because of that, I am in the minority grouping here. Gender-wise, I am a female, and that definitely imposed some expectations. I was the firstborn girl in a Chinese Burmese family, a very traditional one, so there were definitely roles and rules and expectations of me because of my gender. Being a female, that puts me in the minority grouping. So in terms of reflections while doing this, I felt a little uncomfortable answering some of these questions, or not answering them, but knowing that I'd be sharing them. And so that put an interesting perspective for me in terms of how the discomfort somebody might feel, be it my student or a client, the discomfort they might feel having to share really personal information with someone who they don't know if it's the first time you're meeting them, or even if it's an ongoing relationship. This is really vulnerable information that you're sharing, and you're really opening yourself up. And so it was a good reminder to me that that's probably what our students and clients really feel. And so resonating with some of the things we've learned, which is building a trusting environment, building a safe environment, definitely resonated. In terms of other things that stood out to me, Hayes stated in this chapter that no one identity can summarize the wholeness of any given person. So really none of these influences on an individual basis can really tell you what a person or who they are, but when compiled together, paints this quote unquote by Hayes richness, and I think that definitely resonated with me. Thank you.